Okay, we're gonna go online. Should we say a couple of words before we give our story?
Like which words?
Like what we are doing, like for the rest hour or so.
No.
No. Okay. No.
Okay, so I'll tell about my experience of visiting Turkey, like in particular Istanbul. Okay, so what do you think about Turkish culture? Is it like obnoxious for you?
I don't think so, because none of the cultures is objectionable to me. I explore different cultures. For example, I've been working in India, and I totally accept this culture. Like it's not mine, but I tried understanding it and appreciate different traditions and cultures. So never was a Turkish culture obnoxious to me.
Okay, and the same for me. I don't think so Turkish culture was not and it's not at the same time obnoxious for me. Like it was pretty interesting experience. So, but the one a little bit strange point was that many Turkish people are religious, and so like many times a day they pray and they repeat verbatimly repeat their like songs or something like that. Verbatim.
Yeah.
Verbatimly.
Yeah. Word for word.
Yeah, word for word. Yes, they verbatimly repeat their songs or something like that, and so it was like relatively strange for me.
Well, however, like now, if you go to a church here in Minsk, Belarus,
yeah,
you're gonna hear the same, because they repeat their religious songs.
Yeah,
and it's a type of ritual. So I believe it's normal to verbatim, or as some sources say, verbatim, repeat their songs word for word.
Okay, yeah, I can agree with you. And so many Turkish sellers are really crazy about selling their goods, and so some of them really they try to entice you, and so sometimes they violate your like personal space, something like that. Have you experienced something related?
Oh yeah, sometimes I was trying to be polite with street traders, and like one of them was trying to grab me, like, please come to my restaurant. So he was like enticing me in a forceful manner, like ensuing me in the street, like, oh yeah, please come to my restaurant.
And so what was your reaction?
My reaction was a bit of like, seriously. You have to be polite and recognize that like my personal space is there. So
okay, yeah, and so I can really acclaim their entrepreneur skills, because they really struggle for selling their goods. And so, but after my flight, after the turbulence, I decided to defer, or I decided to postpone my like shopping, and as adage says, better later than never, and I completely agree with it. So one day I ensued some popular tourist road in Istanbul, and meanwhile the sun was at its zenith, and it was really boiling hot, like outside, and it was like not a piece of great experience. Great piece of experience.
I see.
Yes, and so I just, as a tourist, I just wanted to learn some hypothetical. I just want to acquire some hypothetical knowledge about Turkish culture. So I just wanted to receive some superficial grasp of it.
Even superficial.
Superficial, yes.
Right. Do you mean you wanted to study their culture in depth?
No, the opposite. I just wanted to have some have some understanding, like more or less understand what do they think, how do they think.
Ah, it's like shallow understanding.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
So as a tourist, I don't want to disparage any culture or something like that. And like the same as I don't want to belittle anything. I just want to acquire some knowledge. I just want to spend a time in some interesting place as a tourist. And as a protagonist, I have visited this city as a protagonist, not antagonist. And some things were really super ridiculous. For example, some sellers, which I have already mentioned, they were really intrepid.
Sorry?
Intrepid.
Intrepid.
So some of the sellers were really intrepid, like they were fearless.
You mean shop assistants?
Not shoppers, yes, like shop assistants, but it's more informal because it's on the streets. And
okay.
Yeah, so sellers. Let call them sellers.
Of course.
And I'm pretty sure that somebody of maybe of tourists, maybe somebody of local people, they tried to filch their goods, and I think these shop assistants they were really crazy when they understood it. They lost their goods.
You naturally get displeased when somebody is trying to filch
yes.
things from your shop, especially if it is the huge bazaar. It is open air place where Egyptians sell their spices.
Yeah.
They sell cinnamon and all types of spices you can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I can never try and filch anything from there.
Yeah, and I cannot too, because I'm an urbane person, and
does it mean that you were born and raised in the city, like in the urban area?
No, it doesn't mean. But like I have like, yes, my childhood was in a urban area, but it's not necessarily means that I'm from urban area. Like I can be from suburb area, I can be from some rural area at the same time. So yeah.
And you can be urbane.
Yeah, and I can be urbane.
Yeah, and what characterizes such person?
Okay, he's like urbane person. He or she already polite with people, and this person like 100% won't try to filch something. Yes.
It's a great explanation, I like it.
And so one of the shop assistants tried to sell some really strange thing, which goal was to decant a tea to glasses, to special cups, and it's and in general, like Turkish people, they are crazy about tea and they drink it everywhere and every time, and so it's antithesis to Belarus, because in Belarus it's super hard to find some quality tea, because Belarusians typically they drink coffee, not tea.
I typically drink cappuccino.
Yeah, so the same with me.
Yeah, I see. So do you normally decant cappuccino from a pot to into your cup?
No, because like at home I have some kind of coffee machine, okay. So it decants automatically.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, and so while many people in Turkish are pretty religious and they pray many times a day and they really follow all the religious rules,
like postulates, yeah.
Yeah, postulates. Many native people they drink alcohol, they smoke cigarettes, and they violate all these postulates, and you can easily call them orthodox. Don't you think so?
Do you mean unorthodox?
Yes, I mean unorthodox.
Oh, good. Yeah, well, definitely,
Unorthodox.
and I think the same with us. And today, there is a trend of going less orthodox.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, because all the opportunities are there, so you can travel the world, you can explore different cultures,
Yeah,
and it's more difficult to stay like in your like a shellfish, like
yeah,
right. So the same probably in Turkey.
yeah. So that's it.
Yeah. So that's the story.
Yes, that was my experience of visiting Turkey.
Right. Yeah, I like the story. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And what is the book you're holding?
Okay,
here?
I'm holding the book, which is named Gruber's SAT Word Master.
Yeah, exactly. It's Gruber.
Gruber's SAT Word Master. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were discussing 20 words.
Yes.
We've taken from Gruber's SAT Word Master. And why are you studying vocabulary? Isn't your English good enough?
No, it's not good enough, and like
Come on, it is.
it can like every time you can't learn in general. You can't learn all the words, all the vocabulary. So you like I'm pretty sure that nobody can say like I know everything and I don't need to learn new vocabulary. So everybody needs to do this. Do you agree?
No, I don't. Sorry.
Why?
Well, I believe that there are some people may work as shop assistants
Yeah.
and be very happy.
Yes, but if we are talking about learning English and if you're focused on learning English, like some key point of learning English is learning vocabulary, new vocabulary. So
Yeah.
everybody who is learning English is learning vocabulary too.
Well, in a way, yeah, but to gain admission in some more or less prestigious campus, you need a lot of words.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we have like special strategies. Which strategies were we discussing today? Like first, okay, let's take this one.
Like okay, some of this like the most obvious strategy is just writing the like words in column with their translation in Russian.
In your mother tongue, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're in Indian, so probably you're gonna translate it into Hindi
Yeah.
or into Urdu or what's your mother tongue is.
Yes.
So is it working?
I don't think so. It's not working absolutely. You lose these words like in a few days. You don't remember them absolutely.
But why? We are not stupid. How can you like you've written it down? How do you forget them?
Because you don't use them. You just if you, for example, now I understand that if you learn the words and you have immediately, for example, written some kind of story, some kind of sentence using this word in a context, then the likelihood that you will learn this word is much bigger.
Yeah, I can't agree more.
Yeah.
Because without context, you just forget it.
Yeah.
Because let's look at your list. So a cart, an etiquette. Like how are these words connected?
They are from the same book, but
Okay, so they are not connected by any topic.
no.
Okay, so I actually don't suggest this method because
Yeah.
I believe your time is valuable. In fact,
Yes.
it's all you got in your life. Oh, it's your time.
Yeah.
So you can just sit and write. But nowadays we have technology. You can even dictate, and it's going to write for you.
Yeah.
Well, some people still do it, and they believe it's working. For me, it never did. First of all, because as a kid I was lazy to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And later on, I just didn't have this habit. That's it.
Okay, so which technique would you recommend to learn new vocabulary?
Well, the first and foremost is to tell stories.
Yeah.
For example, I already remember the word obnoxious.
Yes, I remember it too.
Yeah, because it's something objectionable, something that you reject, that you won't support.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like whenever I recall obnoxious, I can recall something else, like for example, filch from a supermarket. Yeah, but we are not going to filch anything because we are
urbane.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So how is this happening? Like I mentioned one word and you're mentioning the other one.
Because I have some experience in using it in some context. So yeah, I remember it. That's why.
Yeah, so they kind of you glue these things together into one piece.
One story.
Yes.
Yes.
And how many times do you need to repeat it, or maybe never?
To repeat the story?
Yeah.
Like 1 time or 2 times, and I think that's enough.
And that's enough.
But maybe, I don't know, maybe a few times, and yeah, that's enough. Maybe you should write it, and you should like remember it. Yeah, you should. Yeah, if you write it, I think you would remember it like more profoundly.
Well, as for me, I don't have my my own belief because I just learned it from Ebbinghaus. If you like at home, you can Google Ebbinghaus forgetting curve. The curve of forgetting. For example, you came across a word, and then what is the likelihood of you remembering it? What do you think?
When you just
came across a word once.
I don't know, maybe 0%,
exactly.
10%.
Yeah, you have some like 1 or 2% likelihood that you're gonna remember this word.
Yeah.
But maybe for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Because you need to repeat it for maybe 5-7 times at least during the months.
Yeah.
All right. Let me type Ebbinghaus forgetting curve.
Yeah, that's good.
What do you see?
Okay, so I see. Yeah, so in 6 days you don't remember. Like the likelihood of remembering something is like 2%, something like that. If we just came across the word once.
Okay. So how to increase these chances?
Maybe by creating a story you can improve these chances.
Well, yeah. By that we mean we need to glue these words into one piece.
Yeah.
Like together. But what about days? How many times do you need to redo the same thing? Retell the story, for example.
Like 3, 4.
3-4 times during the first 6 days.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can continue exploring this topic of forgetting curve by Ebbinghaus.
Yeah, I'll do it.
What are the other methods that you tried learning vocabulary?
Okay, I tried to build some kind of schemes, structures of synonyms.
Can you show? What was that?
So, like, there was one word, discouragement, and it has like 2 meanings.
Okay.
And firstly, I have like one kind of line to one meaning and to the second meaning.
Okay.
And then from these words, I have 2 lines too. And these are just the synonyms of these words. Okay. Yeah, and this technique is pretty, like, I rejected it immediately after I tried it because it was like so. It was very difficult to build that, and it really takes a lot of time.
I agree.
And it's only for one word.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's not interesting at all. It's like really dull.
Regarding our storytelling technique, so when you tell a story, so you can use one word, and then how do you explain the meaning of this word?
I'm sorry, could you repeat?
Sure. When you make your story, how do you make this word understood to the people who for whom it's a new word?
You just can use a synonym, something like that, which is more popular.
How did you do it in the story?
I just said something like, Or we can say like meaning that, something like that, and then I used the synonym, which is more familiar for people.
You are using the definition strategy from TOEFL.
Is it a definition?
Yeah, that's how, for example, if you face a passage in TOEFL, so more often than not, they define some academic terms in the very beginning of the passage. Yeah. For example, like oxygen or the element that.
Yeah.
So basically, it's quite a useful technique. So you see, not only for vocabulary study.
It's pretty useful. I agree.
Okay. Any other techniques?
Yeah, the other technique, like the last technique I used, it was to forget where's this piece of paper. Okay, like it was to write many synonyms of one word, and I thought that it's pretty cool technique because you expand your vocabulary. Like if you just know one word and there are like 5 words which are synonyms, so they mean relatively the same. Their meanings are relatively the same. Like I thought it's pretty cool, so you can know just the definition of one word, and you can like remember the synonyms, and then you can guess the meaning of like other words.
Can you give an example?
Okay, for example, give me a second. Yes, that's it. For example, there are words like magnificent, brilliant, gorgeous, glorious, impressive, splendid, spectacular, and all of them mean relatively the same. And so you can just know the translation of the word or the meaning of the word impressive, which is I think the most familiar word for everybody, and then you can understand other words meaning. Like magnificent, brilliant, gorgeous, glorious, splendid. That's it.
Like I like the way they use this technique in the books by Oxford University Press. What the British do is that they give you a lot of collocations. For example, how do you say if, for example, in your community, like most people use iPhones, not Android phones. So how do you say like these most people?
Most people?
Like for example, like 9 out of 10 people use Apple phones, and only 1 out of 10 uses Android. So how do you call these 9, and how do you call this 1?
Minority and I don't know how to say the opposite to minority. Like I don't know.
Maybe majority?
Majority, yeah.
Right. And in these books,
majority.
They give a lot of examples and practice with the vast majority or the overwhelming majority, whereas the opposite is just a small minority. Right.
Yeah, vast majority and small minority.
So we organize words in synonyms and antonyms, then in collocations that put all these things together, and then try to use it.
Okay. That's a great technique.
Cool. I also think so. As the adage has it, use it or lose it. Do you believe?
Use it or lose it? Yes, absolutely.
Right. So even in Russian, it's your mother tongue, right?
Yeah.
Even in Russian, if you don't use some words, can you forget them?
Like right now, not, because you live in this environment and everybody uses different words. So I think no, it's the likelihood is pretty low.
Okay. Yeah, because you constantly cultivate this vocabulary, so you're not right. What are the other fruitful techniques to learn vocabulary? Do you think?
Fruitful techniques?
Yeah. Maybe I should put words on sticky notes like yellow, green, and pink, and put them on the wall.
I don't know. I think it looks. I don't know. It looks pretty overwhelming when there are a lot of cards, and you
When you enter your room?
Yeah, you're like, oh my god.
Did you do it?
No, I haven't tried it, but I don't know. Like intuitively, it seems to me that it's not efficient.
Okay.
But what do you think?
Well, I tried it once as a kid, and well, not me. I was too lazy to do that. Maybe you need to write something and like, stick.
Yeah.
Yeah. My sister tried that. She was smarter than me. Like like girls, they're like maybe a bit sly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she put these words like for example different types of ingredients like food, like beetroot, carrots, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But the first problem I faced with that, with it, was that I couldn't care less how you call beetroot, because I wanted some cool stuff like how to call cars and stuff. So the topic was dull for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and secondly, they like it was sticked for one day, but then it was like
yeah.
forgotten, and I never repeated it.
But didn't you try do that like right now with some interesting topic?
I don't know. Like, do you see anything?
No.
No.
No, I don't.
That's the point.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, but I don't know what are the other
other ways. Well, some people use flashcards. Some people like Marta for that. Yeah.
So what's it?
Flashcards.
Like you get the word and you need to find the synonym, something like that, to choose, or like to say, do you remember it or no?
Yeah, there are, for example, there are SAT flashcards where like there are 200 or 250 most frequent words, and there is there is a word, a funny picture, a couple of synonyms, and like 3 or 4 examples how we use it, and students are supposed to just carry them everywhere and just to play whenever they have time, because it's really fun and the situation is already created.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all the thing is that in our country it's not so widespread. So these guys they look super smart to their friends whenever they have it, and everybody's like, "Oh, what's that? Like discombobulation? What?" So
yeah, I remember being in the same class with Marta.
Okay.
And she was like repeating the words with this flashcard, and I was like, "What's that?" It was like 4 years ago or 3 years ago, maybe something.
No, we might have exaggerated, maybe 2 max.
Okay, 2 years ago, I'm pretty sure, but not 3.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, hello, Marta.
Hi, Marta.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we should call it a day. Yeah, because we are discussing it for quite some time. Thank you for watching, guys. And what are the different methods do you use to learn vocabulary? So we want your comments.
Yes, like this video and subscribe.
Yeah, high five.
Yay.